Hello friends and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we find ourselves in that awkward transition zone where the spring annuals, the winter annuals, they were gorgeous. They're not so gorgeous anymore. And we're going to go from there into the summer heat-loving, drought-tolerant annuals that are going to carry us through for the rest of this season. So today it is not about completely starting over. It's just about making some very smart edits in the garden. So I am going to share with you my journey of what we are doing. We are going to put in one great, love this annual, have used it many times, and then two brand new introductions that will hit the market next year in 2027 from Proven Winners. So I am going to put them through their paces here in the front yard. Full hot afternoon sun. The vast majority of this is not going to be on irrigation. We do real life gardening here at Creekside Nursery. I share the messes and the successes. So if you find yourself like me and your spring annuals are beginning to take a toll with the heat, and the drought that has found us here in North Carolina, then this is going to be some great information, hopefully some inspiration here today in the front yard. So let me just kind of really quickly show you what we're dealing with, and then I'm going to share with you my solution to giving me gorgeous color now all the way through late fall. We are focusing here along the pathway from the driveway into the house. As you can see, we have got tons of gorgeous violas. This was a beautiful blend that had like some dark purples, some whites, some light lavenders, a little bit of yellow, of course. And we had them all the way down through the front of the yard. And then we did a couple of nice heavy pockets closer to the house. Now, your violas and pansies, if you are a southerner like me, then your violas and pansies, we plant them in the fall. They give us a beautiful color fall, winter, and early spring. They are a cool weather plant. They do not like the heat and the humidity. You can see this little pocket over here. They are starting to turn yellow down at the bottom. They're falling over. It is time to take them out. If you're in a cooler zone, maybe you grow pansies and violas in the summertime. That is not how it happens here in the South. We are way too hot and humid. So we are going to take them out. Now, I am not going to focus on the front. We're going to be strategic. This year, I have really been trying to pace myself and to set realistic goals for the day that do not kill myself. So we're not going to do the entire bed. We're just doing the section right here at the pathway. So the violas, we're going to dig them up and they're going to come out. I am going to have some very happy chickens because they are going to get to scratch through the soil and then eat those cutie patootie little flowers. Yes, violas and pansies are edible even for humans if you wanted to. The chickens are going to be very happy. So those are coming out. Then I have got my anemones. The anemones were unbelievable this spring. They were gorgeous. This is a early spring flowering bulb, shall we say. They're corms, but we'll just say it's a bulb. And they too are done. Now we're not pulling them out because they'll be a perennial for me and they will come back year after year. How do you know if your anemones are done? Well, let me show you. This is a clear sign that your anemones are done for the season. The little stalks, there are no more flowers on them. My foliage is turning yellow and brown and beginning to die back. You want to leave it as long as you possibly can so it can store up the energy for next year. We are good. When it starts to turn yellow and brown, we know that we can go ahead and just cut it to the ground. So that is what we are going to do. Again, here on the front side, I'm going to leave these violas because they're still giving me a little bit of color and I'm not ready to replace them yet. I'm working strategically today, but all of the anemones are going to get cut to the ground and then the pockets of the violas closer to the house, they are going to come out. So as I mentioned, we are putting in 3 annuals within this space. The one that I love and adore, heat tolerant, massive bloomer the entire season long, Artist Blue Ageratum. I think you can probably understand why I want to put Artist Blue into the landscape. Y'all, this is just such a prolific bloomer, can handle the heat and humidity like a champ. And will be absolutely beautiful in a nice mounded habit. Now, they are desperately ready to get out of these containers. So it is past time as far as like them, they are like ready. They're like, please get me out of this container, put me in the landscape. So that's what we're going to do, of course, and then we're going to put the biotone and then the Proven Winners continuous release fertilizer on them and give them some food. Why do I say that? If you notice their foliage is a little bit of a light green, am I concerned about this? No, I am not. They're gonna deepen up nice and dark green as soon as those roots can get into the soil. So your Artist Blue Ageratum, they are going to go in mass. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to put multiples of them between where the anemones are. So when you're coming down, the Artist Blue will be in these holes between the anemones on both sides. And then for some fun pockets, we might put a couple of pockets in there, but y'all look at these two cute brand new introductions for next year. So as the tag says, this is 2027 new intros from Proven Winners. We have a Lantana. Look at this. Is it not so sweet? It's called the Luscious Vanilla Breeze. Vanilla Breeze is going to be a nice creamy, mostly on the outside with that nice soft yellow on the inside. Nice and petite, 10 to 18 inches. That's why I'm going to put 3 of them somewhere right around in this area. So we've got the Luscious Vanilla Breeze. This will go all the way through October, possibly into November, depending on the weather. But such a great, cute one. It is not in full bloom yet, but it is getting there. And then look at this new Nemesia. I love the Aromance's Mulberry. Well, let me introduce to you Aromance's Plum Honey. Look at that. It is so sweet. Again, 8 to 12 inches. And it has more that, still has that mulberry, but it's more of a yellow and a cream. This is a beautiful one and it smells delicious. We're gonna do some mass plantings, kind of where those violas are right now. We're gonna do a couple of little mass plantings in there. Plum honey is going to be a little bit of a test as far as can it handle the hot afternoon sun, because this space gets really intense hot afternoon sun until the sun goes down. Aromance's Mulberry does well for me in the full sun, even throughout the entire summer, which really surprised me, but it did do it and it has done it and does really, really well. So we're gonna put plum honey to the test. Can it go all summer? Time will tell. I'll let you know. So without further ado, what we've got to do is do some cleanup. The violas are going to come out. They're going to go up to the chicken coops. They get a little afternoon snack. And then we're going to just cut those anemones down to the ground. All right, my friends. Okay, so we got anemones cut back, violas taken out, and then I went ahead and brought in and amended, filled back in the hole with the Black Gold Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix. We are in a drought, and this is not on irrigation. So when I was pulling out the violas, there really was no like shaking off the soil because it is so dry and stuck to the roots, which is fine because the chickens absolutely loved it. So because this is going to be annuals are going back in. Annuals tend to enjoy a little bit more of a compost type soil because that way I don't have to come back through and feed them. They're going to get the food from the compost and the soil. So we just built that back up. Great thing is with the Black Gold Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix is you can plant directly in it. So those 3 areas that I went ahead and filled in with the Black Gold, I'm not going to have to use the auger. So I can just use my hori and pop those babies in and they'll be fine. Of course, I'm going to use the biotone and the continuous release fertilizer. So let's talk about design and where the plants are going to go, because I want to have this great, gorgeous color now all the way through the fall. And these plants are going to give it to me. We're going to start right here on the porch because it's in the shade. All right, so the little pockets that are just on each side of the steps where you see that nice, dark, rich soil, that is going to be a mass planting of the Artist Blue Ageratum. Big pops of blue. Then we're going to come through and on every other side of where the anemones are, because I can still see them, we're going to drill with the Jenny's Edition 5-inch, or is this 7-inch? This may be the 7-inch auger that I have on. And we're going to drill holes and we're going to put 2 or 3 ageratums through each one. So that's going to line this whole pathway all the way down. Now on this side, I don't think I'm going to put the Artist Blue along the edge. And why not? Well, because these are Firelight Tidbit hydrangeas, and I'm afraid that if I put the Artist Blue directly in front of them, they're going to grow together. And I want the hydrangeas to get as much sun and get nice and thick and big and beautiful as they possibly can. And then between the tidbits is the anemones, and I don't want to mess those up. So we're just going to kind of skip the Artist Blue along the edge on this one. That's why we have this mass planting right here, so it all kind of ties in together. And then moving on down, so the pocket that is behind the last tidbit, that's where we're going to put the Nemesia. We're going to do a mass planting. I think I have 3, 6, 8. So we're going to put 8 of them, fill that in right there. And then also to tie in the design, I put 4 here to the left behind the chameleon grass, and it's going to be kind of right along the edge. So that way it all ties in, and then dead center between those is going to be the new Luscious Lantana. That Vanilla Breeze is going to be so pretty. It's going to be a beautiful contrast between the chameleon grass and then my butterfly candy buddleias back there, which are a nice soft pink. It is going to be beautiful. So that is what we're going to do. Of course, ageratums are right here. And then, yes, it is the 7-inch drill that I have on 7-inch auger on the drill, rather. So we're going to need that, y'all, because I have a feeling this soil is going to be terrible because it is so incredibly dry. So we've got the hose link nearby so we can get everybody watered. And of course, everybody will get biotone and the continuous release plant food. So what I will do is in the areas that are already prepared with the Ultra Outdoor, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle down. I'm going to start there because that's going to be the easiest and I'll feel accomplished. So I'm going to sprinkle both of the fertilizers on there, and then as I'm putting the annuals in the ground, that fertilizer will get mixed in. And then because we're in the full hot afternoon sun right now, I'm gonna get those planted and then water them, and then I'll move on to the ageratums in the front of the pathway. It's gonna be gorgeous. All right, my friends, so we got all of the annuals in the bed. This little edit to the flower bed, transitioning from spring into summer, is going to make a huge difference long term. These plants can handle the heat, the afternoon sun. The new Nemesia, we're putting it to the test, my friend. That way I can tell you exactly for next year how it performs, and so you can make the best decision for your garden. Cannot wait to see all of these fill in. That Artist Blue just makes a pop. Like, it stands out. It is so much fun. Cannot wait to see these really thicken up and get really full. They're going to make a great impact. And we still have a couple more edits that we're going to do later on, maybe about like in a week or so. So while today's project is complete, I am thinking ahead. So where the violas are in the front, those will come out obviously, and we're going to put lemon coral sedum all the way around. So we're going to have that nice bright chartreuse color, which will look so pretty up against the Artist Blue Ageratum. Just absolutely excited about that for sure. So they go all around, and then of course those nice mass plantings right there. And then with the new Nemesia, having that kind of all tie in together, two little sections right there with the new Lantana in the middle. The pollinators are going to love that Lantana, and being a nice petite size at 12 to 18 inches, it'll be perfect. It says the spacing is to be about 12 inches, and I think I did pretty darn good. I didn't put them too close together because I know how Lantana will thicken up and develop. So all of this is going to be so pretty together and transition into the summer and to the fall just absolutely really well. And then, like I said, I told you I was jamming them in here, y'all. I did. And raised it up a little bit with that black gold. It will settle down just a little bit, but man, these Artist Blue are going to love all of that delicious food. And so yeah, we just get to sit back and watch everything grow and develop. And in 4 to 6 weeks, my gosh, this bed is going to absolutely transform, because everybody's going to fill in and get nice and thick. Not only our annuals, but also our shrubs. The Firelight Tidbits, they will begin blooming. Typically, my panicles will start blooming right around the beginning of July. So July 4th, my little lime punches go ahead and start blooming. I can't remember exactly on the tidbits, but roughly in that time period. So July, it'll be perfect. And then y'all, as I was doing this, right before I started this project, I thought about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got red, white, and blue. So I have got the, of course, the red from our front door, the white with the dragon wing begonias and the diamond frost. And then, of course, the Firelight Tidbits, they will be white. And then the Artist Blue Ageratum. We are going to be set for July 4th. So that was just a fun little, wasn't planned. I would love to say that it was planned, but it wasn't. But still, you know, you're gonna be patriotic and happy, celebrate our 250th birthday as a nation. So it'll be a lot of fun. So these plants will absolutely just transition right on through the summer just perfectly well. So don't be afraid in your garden. This is the time, my friends, especially if you are in the South like I am, because I tell you, it's the end of April, but it feels like it's like June, how warm and dry it is. So if you have some spring annuals left over, like I do with my violas, let's go ahead and get them out and put those summer annuals in. That way those strong root systems can happen before the crazy heat of June, July hit. Because if we're this warm in April, I'm kind of scared to see what June and July are going to look like. But anyway, we want to get those annuals in and get the roots established before the real heat hits. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. If you have, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.